been a long time with this guy, Tando. I value a lot, like the way he said it. And we've been through thick and thin together, just supporting each other. Besides money or anything, but with our friendship, which bonds forever. All the way that I've worked with this guy, I have learned a lot without sometimes giving anything. But he's been a blessing.
Ellison Maveneke joins me on a day that he required my technological help, and for the time that he was with me, he wouldn't hesitate on lending his ear. My brother and good friend, whom I admire so much and who has wrinkled my love for what I do and my purpose for sticking to the person that I am. I'm truly grateful that you are the person that you are. With the little time that you spent, I just wanted to dedicate this episode to letting you know how much you mean and also how much of a role you are still playing in my life. I'm grateful. May the Lord bless you. Welcome yet again to the Motivational Maniac podcast. It's true that with each and every day, there's something new that the Lord has to bring us. If you are grateful for the mere fact that we have a day and something to look forward to, I think we dwell more on the presence of the Lord and His creation. It is true that each and every one of us upon this earth is made in His image. I've dedicated myself in trying to make sure that I have a very exceptional shared experience. I am able to relate to the people that are surrounding me. Sometimes it might feel like you are recruiting, but it's not recruitment that we are in. I'm here to bring awareness to those who choose to accept themselves, because I've found myself previously in positions where you were alienated from being the person that you think you can most benefit to be. But clearly, when something doesn't work, you try something different, and that's the position I did find myself in. So the biggest battle I had to face was the battle I had with myself, my own limitations, because I always thought that I needed others to be me. But when you always are looking on the outside for what on the inside you already possess, you are gonna constantly chase. But when you decide to see value on what we're doing and instead attract, you value everything that's coming your way. So shared experience is important. And in my presence, Mr. Ellison, words cannot even describe the amount of excitement and also respect that I have for you, because it takes guts for us to open ourselves to others. One might see it as some sort of a weakness, but others see it as strength. So Ellison, I am having you on this episode because I value you, my brother. I'm here to say you showed me the value of what I do at times where I didn't even believe it. And the reason why I want you to share what you also have gained from this experience that you've had with me is the true value of what it means to be your own. The true value of having people depend on you only because you want them to succeed. And as much as there was a language barrier at first, it takes huge amounts of understanding and also compassion to bring yourself back to earth and realize it's not just about you, and that each and every person has something to teach you.
Greetings, Ellison Maveneke. I'm very happy to be on this program. It's been a long time with this guy, Tando. I value a lot, like the way he said it. And we've been through thick and thin together, just supporting each other. Besides money or anything, but with our friendship, which bonds forever. All the way that I've worked with this guy, I have learned a lot without sometimes giving anything. But he's been a blessing.
So have you, Mr. Maveneke. And there was one point in my life where I got an opportunity to live with. He was half Zambian, half Congolese.
Yeah.
And this dude, trust me, he showed me a different side of what the struggle means.
Yeah.
Not because he was trying to scare me, but he was trying to make me aware that as people, we're all going through a lot.
Yes.
And we get so judged most of the time that people don't even bother wanting to know our story, because all they see is Zimbabwean.
Yeah.
Which is that other thing that I emphasize a lot as black men, is that we have not been taught how to love our brothers, because the people that have divided us have taught us that we need to separate ourselves from what it means to be African. So me going through this kind of phase, I'm taken back to that important day where my fellow brother told me, I came to him to tell him, hey brother, I don't have any means to go to school. I'm doing my trick. I can't go back home. His house was nearby the school. And he told me, no, I have a chat with my mom. next thing I found myself there, not just with him, but with another Congolese classmate of mine. You see, what was bringing us there? We wanted to make sure that we passed the year. So when these obstacles are against you, you look at them and ask yourself, am I gonna give in to how hard things are, or am I gonna seek help from other people? And I felt like this guy is not trying to feel sorry for me, but he's trying to help me. And I stayed with his family. And there's one thing his mother always told: eventually you will go back home. Time to find your father. Time to look after your family. She told me a lot about the struggle. And I'm thankful for his son. I'm very thankful for his son, because there are whole different experiences that I wouldn't have even got to see if my mind was so fixated on seeing my fellow brother as someone who is not. You see, the struggle teaches you to see things at a level base, for you to understand that you are not the only person who's going through this. There are plenty more of other people who are going through this that you can align yourself with. But how do you think you're gonna be able to unlock the goodness in that person if you already come prejudging them? I had my own brothers. They didn't want to help me because they refused to say, you can't be this smart and doing good at school and you are going through this. But there was another one, even through that mist, who also availed himself. You see, I was jumping in between these places. And most importantly, I go where I'm valued. It teaches you, brother, that you cannot have a rigid mind. You can't say, if I don't get this, then things won't work my way. Because the struggle will tell you, hey, I have something else to show you. Ellison was just a reminder of that as well. To say, hey, Baba, you're on the same struggle with me, you speak the same language as me. Doesn't matter, because we are too much on mocking others. Europeans taught us to do that, to make ourselves feel inferior. What good is that gonna do me? How will I unlock what Ellison has if I'm coming already prejudging it, coming with the mindset that I picked up elsewhere, not I developed myself? So this man got to live in my yard. And then there was a point where he left, bruh. But even after he left, called me back. He said, Tando, you showed me a lot of things. And you know what I told him? Brother, I'm also going through a lot. That is like jet fuel to me. I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna take that, and then I'm gonna excel, dog. It's not about the size of your audience. You see, when you are invested in the action, bruh, even if you're doing it to one person, my brother down south, keep it coming, making sure I'm motivating you. Bruh, there are days where I miss you. I just put one of those voice notes because I know even where I'm not appreciated, someone who is always on my ear. Physically, I might not get to see him. Your real friends are not the ones who are gonna say, how come you're not spending time with me? How come you're not doing this? No, those are not your real friends. Those are people who are surrounding you only because maybe they might see potential or success coming your way. And the moment shit hits the fan, what happens? You will see their true colors, brother. Everyone will unpeel eventually. Ellison reminded me, time to value what you have. There were people in my life, bro, who I expected to be like, hey, look out for me. But time always tells. And I also couldn't disacknowledge that fact. Here comes Ellison. Here is a person who is also going through the same thing I'm going through. Bro, just because you were deprived of something doesn't mean you must deprive others of it. You see, and others are going to be jealous of that relationship because there's mutual respect.
Because they don't know what...
You see, I need to know how to speak to my brother.
Yes.
I can't expect something that I can't give. I'm not giving him respect. Why am I expecting respect? People must be judged on the content of their character now. We are all black, brother. That's why I've emphasized the importance of we need to look for our culture, not being told by the Europeans. What is being taught in school? That's not history, bruh. Don't say it's just. What is that teaching our kids? Huh? That is nothing, bruh. And if we don't make the noise, if we don't stand up for our own history, who's gonna do that? If they can work with so much emphasis on trying to hide it away from us, who's gonna stop them? So Ellison, like I said, brother, shared experience is important. And you see, I love it when a man gets to face his own challenges, faces his own mistakes, you see, and it's okay for you to be in that state. But what I don't confess for is the mere fact that we do things and we know these things affect the people around us, but instead of us being aware that it is important for us to take responsibility for our actions, we choose to ignore all that. And then when things don't turn out the way they're supposed to, we start doing the blame game. So Mr. Maveneke is another reminder to me is is if you don't take ownership of your mistakes, they will catch up with you. Have you heard the phrase, you can run but you can't hide?
Yes.
It hurts that so many life-changing decisions have to be first implicated with a tragic story, a tragic experience, a tragic event for people to change their life. But if a person doesn't take aware of the fact that this life is not a rehearsal, the cameras are on as we speak now. As we do what we are doing now, we are contributing to time. We are getting older by the second. So it is best for me to enjoy the present, because that's how I create the future. It's in the now. So it is also important for us to have friends that are gonna remind us that, it's dark, but as much as it's dark, must go through that darkness. Not those who are gonna remind you of your comfort zone. Those are gonna bring insecurities, because that's reality for each and every one of us. But how often do we choose to be aware of that?
But sometimes you won't even know that you're planning to fail. Sometimes you'll be thinking that's the right plan that I'm doing.
That plan is indestructible. You see, the one thing I love about my Almighty is like that He will watch you making your own plans. That's why we always need to bind the Almighty in everything that we do. Our relationships, doesn't matter what the other person thinks, because they could be convincing you to leave yourself unprotected. Why are we even here in the first place? He made it possible. And Sadhguru said, what if you are in heaven and you are already making a mess of it? We are busy trying to prepare the next life, thinking we are going to be good. What about making the one you have now at your disposal the best that you can? Perspective, my friend. That's why how you see everything, it matters, bruh. So when you're investing yourself in experiences of such nature, you are going to be aware that there are those who are going to be against you, but your focus is not on them.
Mustn't be limited.
The power of running your own race. You need to promote that in men. It's not about being a better man than who. Because look at our women. Look at how they are oppressed. Gender-based violence is on the high in South Africa. And men don't want to admit that they are the root to that problem. Anything that has to do with accountability, it doesn't involve us. But what does it say about us? Since we are men in denial. So when we allow these things to become norms, we can't complain about them. Kids are dying because of drugs. Our kids are doing this. It's because we've normalized this kind of living, even under the oppression that we are under. And then when someone just tries to put a seed, everyone is going to be congruent in trying to destroy that person. Come on, Ellison.
Yes.
Why? Who does he think he is? Think he's a pastor? He think he's this? My man is just trying to see what is going to work for him. He's trying to work with the gift that the Lord blessed him with. And just because you are so caught up in being yourself. So Ellison, can't be stopped by that. Tell me about your brother, man. How is he doing?
My brother is doing.
Yeah. Good health, bro.
He's keeping up with his daughter.
Yeah.
Small family.
I've started to decipher that, especially about this education of slavery. Sell the mother one side, they sell the father that side, because they knew if we just break the family structure, if the man can't provide, if we demonize him, if we dominate the male and we tear his image, then we have power to do anything. So the strength of the black man will always return once he returns to his family. So this is amazing news to hear that the brother is doing that. The men are gonna be running, hey my man, you are busy here doing all these things. No, we are called to different things, brother. We are called to different things. And the one thing also I've acknowledged about my friend and my brother and the friendships that I've started to develop is I'm not the only person who's the father to my daughter. They are also doing that. And I tell them all the time, you're also parents in training.
True.
Don't say this won't happen to you. It can happen at any time. At any given time. This can happen. But there's one thing you told me once, the first moment I told you that I had a baby, and you said children are blessings from God.
Yeah, those are blessings.
And I think when we don't create so that our creation can do better than us, I think we have failed. We failed a lot. Sometimes it can be quite easy to forget why we are here in the first place. I lost my mom in 2019, December. You know, I'd already been in training that time, meditation, philosophy. I was investing myself in a lot of things. And I just remember the last conversation I had with my mom, one of my podcast episodes, with my former classmate, to remind her that sometimes you have to lose in order for you to win. I lost my mom, and then the next year I'm a father. You see, all these things happening, you see, over a short space period of time. I just reminded myself that when God takes, He also gives, brother.
Yeah, He won't just take from us.
He always gives.
gives back.
But the one thing that I am glad is the responsibility that comes with the giving.
Yeah.
Because you can't be fixated on just getting.
I think the more you give is the more you get happy.
Exactly, brother. Exactly, my man. Exactly. And I found that all these things that I am keeping to myself, I need to give it to others so that they can also pass it on to others.
The more you give, the more you become happy. So now, I think there must be also the same way.
Yeah, bro. When we are surrounded by people who allow us to fail and go through all these things, it is quite easy for us to come in with life to know, okay, as much as I can fail here, I know if I go to that guy is gonna remind me of all the things, because that's the thing. I feel myself, I overflow, I need to spill unto others. If you live here and you are not filled, that is my fault, not your fault. Hence why I want to talk to that guy. Things. When you disacknowledge your own and what you know, when you belittle yourself, I always write this, you can't win big by playing small. Stop trying to convince yourself that I need to adapt, I need to know. You must think big, bro. Already now. Because there are people who are in their current fold who are trying to extend their records. When you are serious about using them to say, okay, I want to build on that. So we need to inspire ourselves to be better than the people that have done what we are doing. Do you think this just came out of the sky? No. We have to seek it, my friend, because what you seek is also seeking you. If you are looking for misery, misery will come. When you're looking for misery, misery will come, bruh. So my mind, I'm trying to fixate it on be a problem solver. Because life is all about problems, you see. And know what kind of things you need to care about. Some things you don't need to care about them. Put them aside. Some things they require your utmost attention. This one, to be on top of it, because if you are not, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna go back into my memory bank, okay, and say, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done this, I should have done that. That messes up the mojo, bruh.
So, if you say life is full of problems, you have to solve them, which simply means there must be something you must read. It means you must read more.
Yeah.
If you don't, I will start simple.
Yeah, you're gonna be miserable, Ellison, because you have little information. Mr. Joshua Kula once told me, he's also gonna be on the podcast, little knowledge is dangerous. You hear that? When you know little, that is very dangerous. Yeah. Because you think what you know is gonna make you. Maybe your thinking could be the thinking of 2000. I'm thinking about one lecture. I'm not sure if it's a lecture or if it's a talk. Joshua Mapong saying, try using a Motorola now in 2003 in this time. Let's see how you're gonna survive. There are people who are still using Motorola system in 2022. I'm not talking about phones here. I'm not talking about operating systems. You see, we need to apply our minds according to the times of now. What are they seeking now? We know everything has to do with technology. You can't go anywhere without tech now. You can't go anywhere without tech. That's why I'm saying these kids must not run away from the computer. He's sitting there, he thinks he knows it. Yo, bro, I didn't know all this thing. I still don't know it. A genius knows nothing. That's the first thing he knows. How are you gonna learn if you know everything? How? That is how you expand your own knowledge. It's for you to understand. Even me knowing, okay, I have this 50 rand. I know what I like to eat. Okay, I need to make sure that I have tea, I have coffee, I have this. You know what you need. You know what you can survive on. And you asked me earlier, how long does it take to create a habit? 31 to 42 days. That's like a month and a week or 2 weeks. But look at how long a year can just go by. Just remember, you just said Happy New Year just now. If you remember it like it was yesterday. And next week, I'm not even saying next week, this week, it's what? It's a new month coming. The 5th month of the year. By the time you remember, halfway through the year. Maybe the next time we're even gonna speak. You see, we are not aware that time is ticking with every second that goes by. Maybe in September, maybe in this. I must apply, I must do this. You think September is not gonna come? It's probably you think we have time. When our perception of time changes and understand, but if I can just get an hour or maybe 30 minutes. I used to love reading in school all the time. I'm holding something to read. And when I finished school, I started to slack. Then I wondered, why am I so frustrated with myself? Well, I wasn't reading. How am I gonna know everything that's going on out there if I'm not equipping myself with the knowledge? Yeah. So I asked myself, I need to start small. Who's gonna stop me if I read just 1 page a day? Just to make sure. Then over time, you started at the bottom. You know what also drives me a lot is I'm not jealous about success. When I see all this movie, I'm trying to show you about Umhlaba, we are move, dog. You must use it to your advantage. Some of them, they think, where I can do all this kind of, no, bruh. Life is not just about getting the bag. No. That's why I say, we Africans have forgotten who we are, because that's all we value. if you are a man that provides, then you are going to be valued. What about abanye who are in different realities and different situations? We have been marginalized as some other men because we can't provide. Next thing, turn up for life because you've internalized what another person said about you and what you can achieve. That's why who you listen to matters, dog. Who gets to have your time? Too many of us, we give our time to the ungrateful and we wonder why we are so miserable. We wonder why we're standing in one place. But if only we could give our time to Abba who are bringing value. There are people who are doing things for you and they want immediate results. Okay, I know what you have because they think you don't see it coming. Self-awareness is important in that kind of way.
Yeah.
And you need to be where you are needed, not where you are wanted. Certain places you are just wanted. But how about where you are needed? Where you can learn something, that respect and so on. Because one day you're gonna build a house of your own, you're gonna have a home of your own. What aura you're gonna bring in that home, people are gonna treat you based on that aura. If you don't instill respect in yourself, no one will respect you. So see worth in yourself. And we are young sometimes, and we have some of our friends who convince us, no, you need to be this, you need to do this. And I always asked about, this is not what I was taught at home. Where is this gonna take me? Because it stays in their minds. Oh God, my Ellison is this kind of kid, Tando is this kind of kid. It stays in their mind. You block off yourself here from a lot of blessings, a lot of prayers that you didn't even know existed. There are people you don't know that are praying for you. They're like, Lord, watch this young man, whatever he's facing, don't let him give up.
Somebody praying for you outside.
Sometimes they're in your life, they're doing things indirectly and you don't see them. And I say, that's the mighty of the Lord. He's still on my side. There's one affirmation that reminds me, even in times of hardship, my abundance still grows. Sometimes we can convince ourselves that the Lord is against us because we think we have a second ear to the Lord. How did he tell you that he's not on your side? You can convince yourself of things, dog. You wash yourself of the grace. And you need to be deserving of it. You need to bask in it and not be driven by how much money you have, what are you wearing and so on. Because other people fear too. They get scared when you become confident. They get terrified. Oh, we don't know what this is gonna do. Oh, we need to keep our clothes. We need to be... They need to hang on to something. Because now I was taught there are people who have dedicated their life to destroying you. Same as there are people who are there praying for you, wanting you to abandon or prepare. So when we hustle, whenever we do that thing, that's why you don't think I wanted a person to tell me what I'm telling myself. Trust me, I do. But do it, dog. Execute. On social media and all that. This guy with coats. This guy. Because what? You're not showing them shit. But okay, this is what I'm going through. It's all of them party. You celebrating a birthday. Because I told my friend that it's not about what you give, it's a thought that counts. There are those who call themselves your brothers, your friend, but when they come to your house and they want something from you, they don't even think about, hey, this nigga maybe doesn't have anything to eat. They're so fixated on what they want that they don't care what you're going through. They just want what they want. Those are self-centered people you need to be aware of. Don't rest on that. And some people, they use your generosity as a weapon. Hence, you need to be aware. Not everyone is going to appreciate what you're doing. But that doesn't mean don't do that. Eventually, there is a person who's going to get to this. They run with it. It's that kind of inspiration that Ellison gave me once. Say, yo, bruh, you know how many people around me, they just here and I just see leeches. They just want to suck. They give nothing. Then when you call them out for their bullshit, they can't stand it. Because now you've gained strength, you're on a level of awareness. My biggest victories have come during those times where I was like, I'm gonna have to deal with myself at the end of the day. I won't be pulling anchors, dog. They're just gonna prevent world's strongest men pulling them. No, you have to walk it yourself. Like, no. Let me take this load off. Like, what? Where you at? Okay, good. Bye. What? Where you at? And by the time I got to the last person, I was by myself. Then I could be able to be like, okay, my family. My this. Then success starts to happen. You get a job there, you buy something here, They start showing themselves their true colors. Oh, you're good now. You're like, I told you. I said build, they will come. That's why I'm saying execute on everything that you do. And then I'm there too. I had to get to a place where I wasn't fixated about how cool things needed to be. I need to have equipment. Because now when I watch videos, I look at more than what the video is trying to teach me. I look at the setting, beyond all these kind of things. And in my mind, I'm also convincing myself, but okay, there is a version of a startup that I can start up a corner. Something that I can build my confidence based on. When you have a smartphone, you have power, bro. Smartphone access to the internet. Hey, what a time to be alive. So now we need to teach the younging, but what you do there, it matters. There are people who are learning of the internet. You can do whatever. But we need to direct them. But my man, this is not just the only way of learning. There are also other means. It's there for the taking, dog, yabo. So that they can what? Capitalize on their futures. Your future can't be bent on partying all the time. What good is it? Where is that money gonna come from? Huh? How important is it as young people for us to be aware of what tax and all these things that are happening around us? Because we are too busy trying to fight amongst one another to see the real enemy. You can't fight your brother, man. What good is that gonna do you? They win because they win through chaos. If they are fighting, if you guys are fighting, what's gonna happen? So don't sleep on yourself, dog. I've been trying to get this out for a while, but it's no biggie. So, Ellison,
Yes.
you are on this journey, brother, man. And that one thing I also have to mention that I appreciate is the fact that we let lying dogs lie.
Yeah.
Which means what didn't work out, we don't go scrubbing ourselves there, trying to reignite new wounds and all that, you know. And sometimes you think you know a person, but you don't know a person. Yeah, experiences change people. And yes, a person can put up a front, but eventually their true colors will come. And once they do, you better believe them the moment you get there, or else you're in trouble. So I did find myself in positions where I thought being smart is gonna do me good. But you know, when you think you're on your way to success, only to find that you've been bullshitting yourself, you start to understand how important it is to be real to you, to stick in within your own realities. Because when people are going to work, they don't understand that they're also going to war as well. You left the war at home, you're also going to war at work, because you're also meeting other human beings who are also on the same journey as you. Hence why the workplace environment is one of the most toxic environments that you can find. So when you have people who are centered on how much money they make, their careers and all that, how much emphasis are you going to place on how that person gets to be when they are at work? There's plenty of us, the versions we are at home are not the versions we are at work. We try so much to hide away our flaws because the world expects us to be corporate. But I would like to bring a different culture to Kalo 7. A different corporate culture. A culture that allows us to fail without fear. When you fail without fear, brother, you give yourself opportunity for a lot of things to happen for you. And I think plenty of us, we get to a point where we forget who we were before we started taking all these responsibilities. So me trying to make sure that I have a podcast is me trying to understand that my journey matters. And other people matter. Because Ellison, I don't think I would have survived if I didn't value respect.
Yeah.
If I didn't value another person's views. Because yes, they see you as this smart person. They don't see you when you are listening to others.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, but yeah, now you need to sit down, shut up and take instructions from others. Now you also need to be invest in the world, yabo. Now you also a flawed being, yabo. You're also capable of evil, all those things. You can't be exempted from London, but the problem is when a person is not seen as capable of that, and then we forget we are all human beings. So Ellison, thank you for just reminding me that being a human matters more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because I can't be on, I can't help me, it doesn't concern me. And so too many people are like that. And look at all that goodness we leave on the table. That qualities that we could have unlocked from that person. Ellison only. If Ellison only. If he could only do this. If he could. So we can't expect to get when we don't give.
Yeah.
We can't expect that at all. But yeah, we learn fit with each and every try. Like I said, now I love being the person that I am because I'm starting to value my life experiences more than ever in my life. And I've started to understand that when I love myself, I give myself opportunity to go through all these experiences without expecting anything in return. And yes, it can be quite easy for you to be hard on yourself because you are looking at the social norms and what society expects you to be. But sometimes we really forget that we're here to learn, man. There's no perfect version of who we are supposed to be. That we are a constant in motion, which means that there's something different that can come out of us at any stance if we decide to avail ourselves to different experiences. So the seed that my teacher planted in me for the teacher to say, Tando, you can do this, man. You can speak to these people and you are possible of all these things that you weren't aware that you could do. When she plants that seed, I also need to go and work on the ground because there's sunlight, there's dust, there's all these different particles in nature. So it brought me to understand that everything works according to how nature is, hence why the woman is referred to as Mother Nature. Everything happens as it's supposed to happen. In order for us as men, black men specifically, to be better, We need to love our women the way they need to be loved. We need to listen to our women the way they need to be listened. Because if you are always fixated on what you want, how are you going to give yourself opportunity to give the person lo umthandai what they want? Love, it's companionship, it's partnership. And as black men, I think we need to go back to valuing that. Be aware about the part that we are playing in our women. Our women are not safe around us. Are you listening to that? Our women are not safe around us. Why? There's something we as young people can do about it. Let's think about what we can do as young people. How much room does that leave us to grow? Because we're still young, dog. Now we have this society that convinces you by 20 whatever, you are supposed to have things figured out, you are supposed to have this. And we put ourselves under so much immense pressure. There's God time, also there's the world time. God is never late, dog. He knows what He wants you to do with your life. But you need to work according to His blueprint. So my journey is finding the divine in everything that I do. Not yet to question religion, because no human being can be capable of this genius, this body. Yeah? Can a human being create another human being? Don't tell me about cloning. But our minds are so fixated on things that don't matter. We even forget to ask the important questions. Life is discovery, man. We're not here to settle. If we don't leave things better than how we found them, there's something wrong with it.
Wow.
God is good. No errors now. Keyboard setup, recovery.
Yeah, genius.
This is what happens when you believe in yourself. Ellison, we are always here to help one another. As we continue, there's a segment I love. I think it's bringing me much closer to Holy Scriptures. My good brother is going to help me with the Christian side, because instead of me picking fights, how about I bring knowledge to the people? How about I expand and also source it from people who are going through those kind of... This is a man of God. We're all men of God.
Yes.
Let's not forget God in everything that we do, because He judges us by the content of our hearts.
Yes.
You must understand that the Lord has not forbidden you.
Yeah.
The Lord will never forbidden us. He is not going to put us on this earth for us to suffer. And once we start to understand that our struggle and suffering is a preparation of what's to come, because the time will come when we are all aware of our own value and we start taking back our buying power. Africa needs Africans, man. So you need to be able to relate to a Zimbabwean, to a Zambian, to whatever. Your mind must not be fixated on nationality, because when the queen comes here, you bow for the queen because the queen is white. But when your Tanzanian brother who speaks your indigenous language, Swahili. At one point, Swahili was supposed to be the national language of Africa. But because we value what the white man has for us, here we are talking English. What are they speaking in Congo? French. We are colonized. That's why we need to take this knowledge to our young people. This is what they did to us. Not just our kids, because that's the most important thing. White kids as well. I have nothing against them. I have something against their great-grandfather, because they inherited misery, pain. We are still struggling, bruh. And we can't even get to that one solution to say we have a common enemy. And the common enemy doesn't look like us. What happened to a village raises a child? Tell me about those kind of proverbs. But the white man is not gonna teach you about the Angolan queen who was fighting off the Portuguese. But because we have been indoctrinated so much that power doesn't belong to us, we choose this nature of selling out. She could have had victory. She even chose their religion, but still they didn't want to object. That's why I'm saying your enemy doesn't care about you. Stop fighting the wrong person. Black men vuga. Hence black consciousness is important. Black is beautiful. We need to work for the goodness of the community. And that starts with us, young people. Because the ones who are coming behind us, they are the ones who are going to ask, hey, what did you guys do to make things better? What did you do to make things better? Really, we need to answer these questions, and we answer them now. What were you taught in school that has brought you closer to who you are? Let's continue being our best versions. Plenty of us do find ourselves in positions where we can do better. You have to also acknowledge, if you don't just affect your own future, you also affect other people's future. We try our best, man. I just try my best when I also want to stick to what I know best, and also just be around people who are going to enforce the Indians, man. Because plenty of us, instead of helping, we choose otherwise. So that's no fault of mine. It's a person's choosing, but I'm just invested in taking the positives and making the best out of them. I'm only a student of life. Everyone is. I'm only a student. I'm trying to do better with each and every try, and it just doesn't help. Utuzama. There are people who are just trying to take away from you, but I think when you have opposition, it's a reminder that you're onto something. Because I felt like that now. I think I might be onto something here. Hence why, or I can't be bored, or I can't be bribed, I can't be doing all these things, dog, because I'm not saying money is not important. Value money, because money is gonna make the situation better, dog. I lead with my gifts. I just want the Almighty to place me in rooms where I can just speak with people's hearts and return them to themselves, because we need that, man. We need to live our truths. And if you don't, I think we're gonna live with that guilt for our entire lives. Just think about it. If I place myself in positions where I can't even have a conversation of this sort with my brother Ellison, telling him, hey, bro, there was a phase.
Yeah.
In my life where I felt like giving up, and even though I had my mom, I couldn't have those kind of conversations, man. But stop thinking for other people. You do not know what a person is going through. It's important for you to just place yourself back and understand that you're not the only one who's in this ride. And I think I valued my mom's presence when she was not around anymore. I started to value all the things that she taught me when she was no longer around anymore, because I had to live that. Now I no longer had a person who was going to remind me, hey, be on your shit. No, I had to do that for myself. And plenty of times you can forget that you're in this but she would have been proud of me, because even though she didn't like what I was doing, she knew I was doing something that was the best for me. And the people that love us, they don't have to agree with us. They don't have to agree with everything that we do. But even if they don't, they love us, and they are going to propel us forward for us to continue. So, Ellison, yes, you are one of those people I don't get to see a lot, and that used to mess me up. But now I've understood that one of your biggest fans are people you don't get to see often, but every time they check in, every time you're in contact with them, you get that reinforcement. Okay, so Ellison, yes, like I said, I want to shine. I want to bring some shine on you, man, to say continue the way that you've been continuing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
continue the way that you've been continuing, bro, because we are all called to something, man. Can't take up some other people with us. We do understand some relationships over they are not going to be worth keeping, because now we are raising awareness now. So the moment you start being aware of that, some people are not for keeps, and others you can keep them. Keep them around. So yeah, man, I just had to do that for a long period of my time. I just want to connect with people on that kind of level. Just want to make sure that I'm done here and so on. So there's going to be a part 2, obviously.
Yeah,
but we're just going to link up and so on. So thank you very much, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my man.
Good time.
Thank you, man. They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Arguably, I have had the grace and also the beauty to be in the presence of such a wonderful and also inspiring young person. This continues as we further ourselves into the concrete jungle. Thank you for lending your ears and also your minds and attention to this lovely and impactful episode. And until next time.